The cold wind howled through Arlington Cemetery that morning, carrying with it the faint echo of a bugle rehearsing somewhere in the distance. Rows upon rows of white marble gravestones glimmered under a silver sky, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Every soldier in attendance stood tall, medals glinting against dark uniforms, their faces carved in solemn silence. It was a day meant to honor one of the nation's greatest generals, a man whose courage on the battlefield had earned him respect, and whose leadership had shaped generations of soldiers. But amid the crowd, a single figure stood trembling near the entrance, a woman whose eyes told a story no one there could have imagined. She wore a simple black coat that had seen better days, her hands clutching a small folded letter. Her hair was pulled back neatly, though a few strands danced freely in the wind. Her name was Elena Marlowe, and for the past 12 years she had lived quietly, far from the public eye. She wasn't on any guest list, wasn't invited, and certainly wasn't expected to show up, but she had come anyway, because the man they were burying that day was once her entire world. As the funeral procession began, with the flag-draped casket gliding slowly toward the burial site, Elena tried to step forward. 2 guards moved in instantly, blocking her path. Their eyes were cold but not cruel. They were just doing their duty. "Ma'am, this area is restricted," one said quietly. She tried to explain, but her voice was weak against the sound of the marching band and the whispers of the wind. "Please," she whispered, "I just need one moment." The guard hesitated, then shook his head. Behind them, cameras flashed, generals stood in formation, and a 21-gun salute prepared to pierce the air. Elena felt invisible, erased, as if her years of love, loss, and sacrifice had never existed. She took a trembling step back, clutching the letter even tighter. The paper was worn, the ink faded, but the word still burned inside her. It was the last letter the general had written to her, sent from the front lines of a war zone years ago. She had never answered it. Life had torn them apart, duty on his side, heartbreak on hers. She had promised herself she wouldn't come, that she'd let him go quietly. But when she saw his name in the news, General Nathaniel Carter, Medal of Honor, Silver Star, Distinguished Service Cross, her heart refused to stay silent. She had to say goodbye, even if no one wanted her there. As she stood there, the sky began to darken and rain started to fall softly, blurring the edges of everything around her. Soldiers in dress uniforms held steady under the downpour, but the chill crept through every layer of Elena's being. The guards exchanged uneasy glances. She wasn't causing trouble, just standing still, her grief radiating in silence. Then, in the distance, a black SUV stopped, and from it stepped a tall man in full uniform, his presence commanding instant attention. The crowd turned. Every soldier stiffened. It was General Robert Hayes, a 4-star general and one of the highest-ranking officers in the country. He had served alongside Nathaniel Carter for years, through dust, blood, and fire, and now he had come to honor his brother-in-arms one last time. As General Hayes approached, his eyes caught sight of the commotion by the entrance. He saw the woman, the 2 guards, and something in her posture, something quietly shattered, made him pause mid-step. The funeral had nearly begun, but he stopped everything. The band fell silent as his voice cut through the air, low and firm. "What's going on here?" The guard snapped to attention. "Sir, she's not on the list," one began, but Hayes raised a hand. His gaze moved to Elena. He had seen her face before, years ago, in a photograph Nathaniel once kept in his office. The same eyes, the same quiet strength. His heart tightened. He walked toward her slowly, boots pressing into the wet grass, rain trickling down the brim of his cap. Elena stood frozen, unsure what to do. Then Hayes spoke softly enough that only she could hear. "You were the one, weren't you? The one he wrote about." Her lips trembled. I just wanted to say goodbye." For a long moment, neither moved. The cemetery was utterly silent except for the rain. Then Hayes turned to the guards. "Let her through." The guards stepped aside instantly. And as Elena walked past them, her shoes sinking slightly into the mud, every soldier in attendance turned to watch. Whispers rippled through the ranks, but no one dared speak. She walked slowly toward the flag-draped coffin, each step heavy with years of pain, love, and memories. She stopped before the casket, the red, white, and blue reflected in her tear-streaked eyes. Her hands shook as she placed the folded letter atop it. The ink had blurred, but she didn't need to read it. She remembered every word. If I don't make it back, know that you were my peace in a world of chaos. The bugle began to play taps, that haunting melody that seemed to pull every heartstring taut. Elena closed her eyes. She could almost hear his voice, see his smile, feel his hand brushing her cheek one last time. Her heart ached with 1,000 unspoken words, the years lost to silence, the love never forgotten. When the ceremony ended, General Hayes approached her again. His expression was soft now, almost fatherly. He talked about you until the end, he said quietly. Said you were the reason he kept fighting. Elena couldn't speak. The tears finally broke free and she nodded, whispering a thank you that carried all her love and grief in a single breath. As she turned to leave, the soldiers who had once blocked her path stepped aside respectfully, their eyes downcast. One of them murmured, "Ma'am, I'm sorry." She gave him a faint, understanding smile. In that moment, the rain stopped, and a sliver of sunlight broke through the clouds, illuminating the fresh flowers by the grave. Elena paused at the edge of the field and looked back one last time. The general had always belonged to the nation, but for one brief moment, as the wind lifted her hair and the flag fluttered above his resting place, it felt like he belonged to her again. She walked away slowly, her heart heavier but somehow more at peace. She had said her goodbye, and though the world might never know her story, the man beneath that flag always had. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to Legends of History. Your support helps us keep telling stories that remind us of courage, love, and humanity. Special request: tell us in the comments what moment in this story moved you the most. We read every single one,